Hi Junior 5 students, how are you? This is your time to study science, as we will take today a revision on the concept 1 from unit 3. This is me, Shaimaa Hamdy, and you are watching the Big Sister channel. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and press the bell button to get all the new notifications. So are you ready to start our lessons? We have a variety of questions today, as we will start with the give reasons for question. Okay, first question: give reasons for water is important for all plants on earth. We studied that water is very important for plants, animals, and human. Okay, so what is the importance of water for the plant? Yes, because all plants need water to grow and survive, and also we have plants that live in the water, yes, as algae. Okay, so the answer is here, because all plants need water to grow and survive, and some of them live in water. Okay, so let's move to the second question. Give reasons for water can affect non-living things like rocks. As the water is very important for living things, as we discussed in the last question, also water affect the non-living things like rock. And we studied two things, okay, that the water affects the rock in them, like weathering, breaking down of the rock into smaller particles, and this process called weathering. And when those smaller particles are transported by water to another place, so this is erosion. So this is the two effects of the water on the rocks. Let us write the answer now. Because water can cause weathering and erosion of rocks. Okay, because water can cause weathering and erosion of rocks. Let us move to the third question we have. Give reasons for our planet looks like a blue marble from the space. Why Earth looks like a blue marble? This blue color is for, yes, water that covers the planet Earth. So here the answer, because 71% of Earth is covered by water. Or we can say that third quarter of Earth is covered by water. So we have here another question. Give reasons for water that contains the hydrosphere is one of the renewable resources of Earth. We know that renewable resources, the resources that natural resources that can be replaced. Okay, and we took two examples, water and plant. Okay, so here we can simply say, because water can be replaced by the water cycle. As in the water cycle, what happens? Water evaporates. Okay, so it changes from the liquid state to the gas state, water vapor, and then it forms clouds. Okay, and then it comes back to the earth in form of rain, water again. Okay, so this is a cycle. So here water is renewable resource. Okay, let's move to another question. Give reasons for hiding of worms inside the soil is an example of an interaction between two Earth's spheres. we know the four spheres of Earth. We have geosphere or lithosphere, okay, and this is about the rocks and soil and land forms. And we have atmosphere, it's about, yes, it includes what, air, okay, and gases. And we have biosphere, which includes all the living organisms, and hydrosphere, which include water on Earth. So here worms belong to, yes, biosphere, okay, and soil, this is geosphere. So here this is an interaction between the biosphere and geosphere, as hiding of worms inside soil. This is an example for interaction between biosphere and geosphere. So the answer here, because worms belong to biosphere and soil belongs to geosphere, okay. So we can go now to the other question we have here. Give reasons for importance of atmosphere for plants in making their food. As we know that the atmosphere includes gases as oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas, and here carbon dioxide is important for the plant to do what, to make its own food by the photosynthesis. So the importance of atmosphere for plants in making their food, the answer will be because carbon dioxide from the air is important for the plant in the photosynthesis process, okay. Importance of atmosphere because it includes carbon dioxide, which is important for the plant to do the photosynthesis, okay. Here we have another question. Most of the fresh water on Earth can't be used for drinking. Why? We studied that most of the fresh water that found on Earth found in form of glacier, yes, in the ice form, frozen water. So this form can't be used for drinking, okay. So the answer here, because most of the fresh water on Earth are in the form of glaciers, the frozen water, okay. You can write frozen water or glaciers, okay. So let us move to other question here. Give reasons for some ponds and lakes may dry up during some month. As we know that lakes and ponds may dry up in summer month, yes. Why? Because the temperature increases in summer, yes, and this causes what? Yes, the water evaporates, okay, into water vapor faster because there is increasing in temperature, okay. So because when the temperature increases in summer, water evaporates faster, okay. Evaporates means the water change from the liquid state as water into what? Yes, gas state, which is water vapor. So the water evaporates, okay. Okay, here we have another question. Give reasons for no green plants can survive in the abyssal zones of oceans. Why? We know that the abyssal zones are very deep in the oceans, okay, and very dark, as the sunlight cannot reach to these areas, okay. So plant need sunlight to grow and survive. So if the sunlight doesn't reach to these areas, so there is no plant. So we can write the answer here, because the sunlight that is important for the photosynthesis process or for the plant to make its own food doesn't reach to the abyssal zone as they are very deep. Okay, so the answer here, because the sunlight that is important for the photosynthesis process doesn't reach to the abyssal zones as they are very deep. Okay, now we finish give reasons for questions. We will move to another type of questions, which is what happens if questions. Okay, first we have what happens if the state of water when it's subjected to extreme cold weather. Here, what happens to the water when it is subjected to extreme cold weather? And here it is subjected means exposed, as the water exposed to extreme cold weather. What will happen? Yes, it will change into solid state, which is ice. Okay. What happens if plants can't get the carbon dioxide gas from the air? So what happens for these plants? Yes, they couldn't make their food by photosynthesis, because carbon dioxide is very important in the photosynthesis process. Okay, here we have another question. What happens if animals that live in lakes, if they dry up? So what happens to those animals that live in lakes? Like many animals, we have frogs, salamanders that lives in lakes. So what happens to those animals if this lake dries up? Okay, yes, they may adapt to the changes that happens or die. Yes, so again here, the animals that live in lakes, when these lakes dry up, what happens to those animals? They may adapt to the changes as this drought condition, or they may die. Okay, here we finished the what happens if questions, and we will turn to write the scientific terms. Okay, as we have here, write the scientific terms. Okay, the process of breaking down of rocks into smaller particles due to the effect of rain, water, or temperature. So what is this process of breaking down rocks? Yes, it's weathering. Yes, and this is one of the effects that the water does on the rocks, as rocks are examples for the non-living things. Okay, here we have another question. Write the scientific term, the process in which the small particles are transported from one place to another. So the transportation of these smaller particles by water or wind is called what? Erosion. Okay, so we have two processes that water affects the rocks: weathering and erosion. Weathering is the breaking down of rocks into smaller particles. Okay, but erosion is process in which the smaller particles are transported by wind or water. So this is erosion. Here we have another scientific term. A cycle shows continuous movement of water from earth to the atmosphere, then to the earth again. So what's this cycle which shows us continuous movement of water from earth to the atmosphere, then to the earth again? Yes, this is a water cycle, as water evaporates and condenses again, and returns back to the earth in form of rain. Yes. Here we have the last scientific term. A large area of the world that has the same soil, climate, plants and animals. Yes, we know that these large areas that has the same conditions, same climate, same soil, plants and animals, this is called biome. Okay, as we have desert biome, and this a large area that has the characteristics of desert, from the plants and the climate, animals that live in this biome. Okay, and we have many biomes. Here we have the last type of questions we will revise today. Complete the following sentences. Okay, as we have here the first question: fresh water forms some water bodies such as and some lakes, while seas and oceans are formed of which water? So the first part, fresh water forms some water bodies such as, yes, we know a very important example for the fresh water, yes, rivers. Okay, and some lakes, while sea and oceans are formed of, yes, salt water. Also we know that from the fresh water we have groundwater and glaciers. Okay, all of these are examples for the fresh water, and seas, oceans, gulfs and some lakes are examples for salt water. Okay, let us turn to the second question we have. During the water cycle in nature, water evaporates, forming what? Then it returns back to the earth's surface in the form of, yes, when the water evaporates, so it changes into water vapor. Okay, that form what? This water vapor forms what? Yes, clouds. Okay, so the first part here, during the water cycle in nature, water evaporates, forming clouds. Then it returns back to the earth's surface in the form of, yes, rain. So here the answer, as you see, during the water cycle in nature, water evaporates, forming clouds, then it returns back to the earth's surface in a form of rain. Let's go to the third question we have. The groundwater that is found in soil and rocks is an example of interaction between two spheres. Which are those two spheres? First we have groundwater, and this is hydrosphere. It belongs to the hydrosphere. Okay, that found in the soil and rocks. Soil and rocks belong to geosphere or lithosphere. Okay, so we can answer here. The groundwater that is found in soil and rocks is an example of interaction between two spheres, which are hydrosphere and geosphere. Another question: a rat that digs burrow, you know, rat like mouse, okay, that digs a burrow in the soil is an example of the interaction between which sphere and geosphere. We know that rat belongs to the biosphere because biosphere is about all living organisms. Okay, so here the answer, a rat that digs the burrow in the soil, is an example of interaction between biosphere and geosphere. Here we have another question. Irrigation. Do you know irrigation? Irrigation means watering for plants, but in a large field. So this is irrigation. We use irrigation to water the field. Okay. Irrigation of plants is an example of interaction between two earth systems. So which are those two earth systems? So now we talk about irrigation, and this is watering. So this is, we use water here, so this is hydrosphere. And irrigation of plants, so plants belong to the biosphere. So here the interaction between hydrosphere and biosphere. Okay. Here we have respiration of living organisms is an example of interaction between respiration. Yes, we know that in the respiration we have carbon dioxide and oxygen that enters our lungs, and carbon dioxide which comes out from our lungs. So here respiration is about gases, okay, and about living organisms. So this is biosphere. So here gases belong to what? Yes, you know, atmosphere. So here the interaction between atmosphere and biosphere. Okay, well done. Let us move to another page. We have here salt water forms about, you know, the percentage of the salt water of, yes, it's 96.5% of water on earth, while fresh water forms about 3.5 of water on earth. Okay, keep these numbers in your mind, as salt water forms 96.5% of water on earth, and fresh water forms about 3.5% of water on earth, and 71% of the earth is covered by water. Okay, so here let us move to the second question we have. Breaking down of rocks by the effect of running water is an example of interaction between two earth systems, which are, you know, the two systems. Here breaking down rocks, so this is rocks belong to what? Geosphere. Yes, and here we are talking about the running water, so this is hydrosphere. So here the interaction is between the geosphere and hydrosphere. So we have here another question. The amount of fresh water on earth is than the amount of salt water. Yes, we know that the amount of fresh water is only 3.5% of the water, but the salt water are represented by 96.5%. So the fresh water is less than the amount of salt water. Yes. Okay, so the answer here, the amount of fresh water on earth is less than the amount of salt water. This is an easy question, okay, and it came last year in last year exam. Okay, so focus on these type of questions. Okay, most lakes have what water here in most of lakes, while some other lakes have which water? So most of lakes have, yes, fresh water, and some of lakes have what? Salt water. So the answer here, most of lakes have fresh water, while some of the lakes have salt water. Here, moving to the next question, we have the Earth's sphere that contains rocks, sand, and soil is known as, yes, you know this is geosphere. Okay. Geosphere is also known as, the other name for the geosphere, you know? Yes, this is lithosphere. Okay, well done. Let's us move to another page here. Rainwater is needed for the plant growth. This is an interaction between Earth's spheres, which are, yes, rainwater. So this is belong to hydrosphere, and plant, so this belongs to what? Biosphere. So here the interaction between two Earth's spheres, which are, yes, hydrosphere and biosphere. The second question we have here, we can classify the aquatic ecosystem in different ways, such as the aquatic ecosystems can be classified into two types of ecosystems. Do you remember them? Yes, we have saltwater ecosystems and freshwater ecosystems, and we talked about the saltwater as we have two ecosystems in the saltwater as shallow areas which contain intertidal zones and coral reefs, and we have another areas which are very deep, yes, and we call them abyssal zones. Okay, and in the freshwater ecosystem we studied ponds and most lakes. Okay, and we have the flowing water bodies which like streams and rivers. Okay, so let us move to the third question we have. Intertidal zone is the area along the ocean between the, we have two tides as the intertidal zone, the area along the coast that disappears underwater at the high tide and appears at the low tide. So here the answer, intertidal zone is the area along the ocean between the low tide and high tide. Okay, here we have another question. Abyssal zone in ocean is a dark area as can't reach it. What is the thing that can't reach to the abyssal zone? Yes, sunlight. Abyssal zone in ocean is a dark area as sunlight cannot reach it. Here we have another question. Some ponds and lakes dry up in the month. So they dry up in the summer month. Yes. From example of freshwater lakes in Egypt, we want here the freshwater lakes. Yes, it's Lake Nasser. As we have examples for the saltwater lakes as Bardawil, yes, in Egypt, and Assal in Djibouti. Okay, so don't mix them. Okay, we have the last three questions. In complete the following sentences. The Earth system that includes the living organisms is called, yes, this is very easy, living organisms, so this is biosphere. Water is responsible for two processes of rocks. You know them? Yes, weathering process and erosion process. So water is responsible for weathering process and erosion process of rocks. Water bodies on Earth can change from liquid state to which state by freezing, while they can change into another state by evaporation. So by freezing, so the liquid state changes into, yes, solid state, while they can change into gas state by evaporation. With this question we finished our revision I hope it is helpful for you. So see you next video inshallah. Thank you for watching and goodbye.